problems. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and do the GCF first. All right, so if I'm looking at number one, all right, the first thing is factor out the GCF. All right, what is common?
3x.
All right, so that's not bad. So we'll start with factoring out the 3x. All right, then once you factor out the 3x, now for those of you guys who are kind of trying to still figure it out a little bit, when you factor out a GCF, if you want, you can put the GCF and divide it out. All right. When you do that, that's what's left inside the parentheses. So 3x cubed divided by 3x is your x squared, and 12x divided by 3x is your -4. All right, so now from there, all right, what you're going to do is you take the factor here, all right, and that does now factor. All right, so you're looking at that. After you do the GCF, you now have to factor x squared -4, and that just becomes 3x parentheses. All right, the x and x, 2 and 2, one has to be plus and one has to be minus because you want the middle term to zero out. All right, so again, every single time your first step is look for GCF. After you divide out the GCF, you then factor again. All right, put your hands down. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at number 3. Let's see how you're doing. All right, if you're looking at number 3, all right, first thing you're doing is looking for a GCF. What is common?
3.
Yes. So we write down the 3. Then you're dividing each term by 3. So you now have x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. Anybody have a problem with that? Shh. Anybody have a problem with that? All right, so from there, all right, what we're going to do is we bring down the 3, 2 sets of parentheses. I have x. All right, then I have a y and a y. And now I'm thinking this is 1xy. This is 1xy. So that gives me a total of what? 2xy. If they're both what? If they're both positive. So those of you guys who did a good job with yesterday's work, there's nothing more to it. All right, you know how to do it from yesterday. This is just one extra step. You're doing the GCF. Now, the way this will be written on most tests, though, would not be that. The final answer would be just to write as 3 parentheses x plus y squared. All right. Now, of course, if you don't write it like that, it doesn't bother me. It's just I want you to be as smart as possible. So that's how generally you would write it. What? No, hold up. Go.
It's two sets of parentheses because when you multiply those two first, if you had to like undo it, you just back to the you multiply those two first.
You can do that.
But it doesn't matter. So that's
Yeah, it doesn't matter. 2 times 3 times 4. Doesn't matter the order in which you multiply. You understand that? That's actually a pretty good question. All right. It doesn't matter the order in which you multiply. Come on, Logan, what?
I do not get how you go from 3x squared plus 2xy plus y squared to the second line.
Look up now. Come on. It's super easy. Pay attention. All right, here we go. Watch me. What is x times x?
X squared.
What? What is x times x again? I didn't hear you. X
X
squared. Yes, sir. That's x squared. Now I ask, what's y times y? That's that. The middle term is the little smiley face that we've been doing. How much is this? How much is that? 1xy. How much is this? 1xy, which makes 2xy. That's it.
See, reverse it.
You're reversing it. Exactly.
It's different stuff. If that was like 3x.
Don't do that. Just say, I understand number 3. That's why there's how many problems? 83. All right, so you're gonna know how to do it after 83. I'm not asking you to do it and understand it completely on the first one. As we go down the page, I promise you, you will get better and faster. All right, I promise you. All right, but you have to do the work yourself. All right, when we take the test on this, some of you are gonna do about half of them and walk out of here bawling your eyes out. All right, and I'm gonna say it's not my fault. You didn't do the work. All right, you must do the work. All right, here we go. Next. All right, what's common? 2x. All right, we're doing pretty good with GCF. 2x. Now, at this stage of the game, you're supposed to be able to divide it out. You're left with. All right, sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. All right, now immediately we go into two sets of parentheses. 2x. All right, now how do I get x squared? X times x. All right, now I want the factors of 36 to be 5.
Yes, -9, 4.
No, I just want to know 9 and 4. Those are the factors that make 5. So we're going 9 and 4. All right, then from there, you want it to be negative. So I check 9 and 4 can make -5 if the 9 is what? Negative and the 4 is. Now, those of you guys who got this thing whooped, and some of you do, and I really appreciate it. You're really good with numbers. Just go down the page. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? If you know how to do it. All right, let me help other people. All right. Now, number 7. How many terms are there? 4. So we're going to factor by grouping. For those of you guys who took a vacation yesterday, it might be a good idea to listen to factoring by grouping. I can tell. Here we go. Factoring by grouping. Here we go. Easy as this. When there are 4 terms, you just group them, the first 2 and the second 2. You with me on that so far? All right, then you're looking at the first 2, you say, what's common? What's common? An A is common. And what's left behind? 2 plus B, perfect. Well, what's common? C. Now, you can't say C. You have to say either a positive C or a negative C. Positive C because the sign right there. All right, the first sign is what you're factoring out. So that's going to be a positive C. And what's left? 2 plus B. That's how easy it is. It's really simple. All right, and now you're looking at this right here, and you're saying what's common? 2 plus B, parentheses, A plus C. I mean, how's that? Make sense? It's easy. All right, it's very easy. Very, very easy. It's called factoring by grouping. Factoring by grouping. All right, now for question number 9. Hurry up. You're going to miss something important. All right, for number 9, the leading coefficient I want to be positive. Right now it's negative. So whenever the leading coefficient is negative, it's easy if we factor out the negative. All right, so in this case, what is common with 12, 30, 18? -6. All right, we're going to say -6. And is there a common x? Yes, so we're going to say -6x. Parentheses. What's left? 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Now, this is the one that's considered hard because there's 2 possibilities that make -5. All right, but there's only one correct answer. All right, so this is the one you got to pay attention on. And if you understand what I'm saying, then you really are good at it. All right, so I have -6x, parentheses, parentheses. And how do I get 2x squared? 2x and x. Now let's do it wrong first, just so I can show everybody what I mean. All right, I'm gonna put a 3 here and a 1 here. 3 and 2 makes 5. I want it negative, so they're both negative. Then the 3 is wrong because -3 times -1 would give me a +3. Is everybody with me on that? All right, that's the important part. If you understand that, then honestly, it's easy. All right, so from there, we're gonna go back and we're just gonna change this up and put the 3 on the right side and the 1 on the left. Now I want negative, so 1 and 6 makes -5 if the 6 is negative and the 1 is positive. All right, like I said, feel free. All right, feel free to just continue on. I'll let you know when there's a different one coming. All right, number 11, what's common? 3. So we're gonna put 3 parentheses. What's left behind? Whoa, 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 whoa. What's left behind? 2x squared plus what? 5x plus 2. Is everybody with me on that? And now again, just factoring. All right. Remember, please don't write down my work. All right. You try it quickly yourself. You should be able to start to see the numbers. All right. If you're doing it as you go down the page, you should be able to see the numbers. All right. So 3 parentheses, 2x plus 1, x plus 2. Anybody else get that? Yes, sir. Charlie.
So the final answer would be,
This right here. That's the final answer. All right, here we go. GCF. 4x. Parentheses, what do we got? 5x squared. What else? You with me on this, right? 4x, parentheses. What do we got? 5x, x. What else?
2.
Where's the 2 go? Now, you should start to see, like I said, I need a 9, right? So I'm thinking 2 times 5. There you have it. And then negative and a positive. You with me on this? All right. Pretty good. 15. What am I looking at here? Is there a GCF? No. So see, not all the time is there something common. So now you just got to look at it and say, well, there's nothing common. So now I'm going to try to factor it like normal. So if I factor it like normal, now some of you should be saying, well, you said start with the middle factors, 2x and 2x, but you should also now be learning that, hey, I'm trying to get 5, right? 2 and 2 is not going to make it. Do we agree with that? That's why I want you to be able to say, well, 2 and 2 is not going to work because the only combination of 1 is 1 and 1. So we need to do what? 4x and x, factors of 1, 1 and 1. I want -5, negative, negative.
So if they don't have them, you just skip the front.
Wow. That's exactly correct. There's no GCF. You just jump right into normal factoring. That's it. First step is look for GCF. That's the first step. Every time, look for GCF. All right. Since there's no GCF, you just go down 2 sets of parentheses. Now I'm looking on 17. What do I notice? 4 terms. So we're going to do factoring by grouping. All right. So now we just put parentheses here, and the tricky part here is this negative. All right. So you got to make sure you're factoring out that negative. So what's common in the first one? X left with factoring out a left with y minus z. these two things right here will and must be the same. All right, and now when you pull that out, y minus z. All right, so what's that, like 66 more? All right, nothing to it. Told you. All right, here we go. Number 19. What do we got? X, thank you. Common X. What do we got now?
2x squared minus 5x minus 1.
Okay, Camille. What's the problem now? What's the problem on this one? Think it through first, please. I always ask everybody to think it through. What? That will not be able to factor anymore. See, that's what makes it annoying. Some people walked out of class going, I don't know how to tell what's what, how do I know I'm done? How do I don't know if it can factor or not factor. Does that factor? No. How am I going to get the factors of 2 and 1 to 5? Not possible. All right, that's why kids don't like it, because it requires more thought. All right, you have to think about the numbers. There's nothing I can do to help you. Nothing. All right, there's nothing to do to help you. You just have to mess around and get better at numbers. All right. No, it's not prime because we factored it out to this. This is my answer right there. You with me? You with me? You understand me, right? That's, wow, that is it. Why is that it?
Wait, when does it become prime?
If none of it can factor. I factored out an X, it's not prime. I factored out an X, so it's not prime. Now you're asking me, is the yellow prime? And I would say, yes, the yellow is prime. You hear me now, right? All right, but it's not a prime because I was able to factor out an X. And so that's what disturbed people this morning, is they couldn't figure out how to know when they're done. I can't tell you that. You've got to think on your own. All right, that's why it's annoying. All right, here we go with 21. All right, what's common? X squared. What's left? Okay, this one's a hard one. All right, this one's a hard one because there's multiple possibilities. You think you got it? All right, I'm listening to you. 4x plus 5 and x plus 3. I like that a lot. Fell for the trap. See, again, I'm telling you, some of you guys will hand in your test going, man, that was so easy. Because you never check your work. You're like me. I was never wrong. So what's the point in checking my work? Until I got to this. All right. If you don't check, you can easily make a mistake. Do you see it? 5 times 3 is positive 15, not negative 15. Everybody with me on that? Now, this is why this one's harder, because there's a combination. There's another combination of numbers, and that would be what? 4x minus 3 and x plus 5. Now, like I said, it doesn't take that long to look. Negative 3, positive 20, positive 17. Negative 3 times positive 5, negative 15. 4x times x, 4x squared. It just takes an extra second to do that. What?
So when one of the numbers has 2 variables.
I'm confused with what to do. I'm on 21. Where are the 2 variables? Yeah, definitely not on this problem. All right. I'm going down the page. Everybody stay on the left side of the road. All right. Go down the page. All right. If you want to move ahead, go to the left. All right. Don't do the right side. All right, here we go. Now, what did I tell you about 23?
Leading coefficient, you have to, should not be negative.
So what do I need to do?
Make it positive and everything else right?
So what am I factoring out? Negative what?
No, negative four. Negative X, negative four, no, negative two, negative two.
Negative 60.
Oh.
It's negative 2, 'cause 4 can go to 18. It's negative 2.
Yeah, you guys are killing me on that. Some of you are saying 18. Some of you are saying -1. I mean, come on, you got to be able to look at 16. I don't find it funny that some of you can't look at 16, 12, and 18 and say, what's the common factor? I don't find it funny. And some of you like haphazardly like throwing out numbers as if I'm supposed to be impressed or something. You're supposed to look at 16, 12, and 18 and say, well, they're all even at least. So I know it has to be a 2. 4 goes into 16, 12, but I don't think 4 goes into 18. Come on. All right. What am I factoring out? A negative what? A -2. Thank you. So we're going to go with a -2, parentheses. Now what? All right. I'm happy with that. All right. Now let's have at it. Let's see what we got. -2. All right. I'm ready. Go ahead. You can tell me what it is.
Right now, I put 4x into it.
Okay. Keep going. Yep. We'll wait for you.
3 is 3. Wait, I want to see that. Yeah, it does.
Shh, let her figure it out. What is it?
Be -2, 4x minus 2x.
12 minus 6, 6, -3, -9. That looks good to me. Everybody's good?
Yeah.
All right, keep going down the page. I'm good with 25. I'm good with 27. All right, put a star by number 29. All right, that's a new kind. All right, not really. All right, let's factor x to the 4th minus 81. For those of you guys not listening, I'm on 29. All right, so everybody should be able to look at that quickly and just say, well, obviously that's just what?
X squared minus 1 times X squared.
Very nice. X squared minus 9, X squared plus 9. And then I need everybody to underline or highlight or however you want to. Is that one, can I factor X squared plus 9? No, there's no way to make +9 and have the middle term be 0. Is everybody with me?
Yeah.
So the red, the highlighted red cannot factor. But x squared minus 9, can that factor? Yes. All right. So now you got to pay attention. It's a new problem. So x squared minus 9 can factor. All right. So with that, we're going to say that becomes x plus 3, x minus 3, x squared plus 9. Come on, look carefully. Anybody have an issue? Come on. Trip what? Well, how do you want to factor x squared plus 9? Let's try to do it. Let's pretend on the test we forgot. X and x. Factors of 9. 3 and 3. I want 0. How do I make 0 with 3 and 3? A negative and a positive. So how is that going to be x squared plus 9? It's not. The only way I can make plus 9 if they're both positive or both negative. If they're both positive or both negative, it will create a middle term. True or not? You understand that? Right? If it's plus 3, that'd be 3x and 3x, which would make 6x the middle term. You hear me now, right? All right. Here we go. 31. Someone better pay attention on this one, because it's got x's and y's. Way more confusing. All right. What is common first? 2. So let's throw down a 2. What's left behind? Minus what? 4y squared. Now your brain should be saying, wow, I'm trying to make 11 and I see a 3 and a 4. So 3 times 4 is what? 12. There you have it. You're trying to get close to 11. So in my opinion, I would just write 2 sets of parentheses, immediately write down 3x and x, and then I'm throwing the 4 so it multiplies with the 3, which means it's going where? To the right. And that's going to be a what? 4 what? 4y. And this is a y. So now the 4y is going to be positive and the y is going to be negative. Again, if you just check, negative 1xy, positive 12xy, that gives me the positive 11xy. Anybody have any issues with that? All right. You can put number 33, you can put 3 or 4 stars next to that one. I like this one a lot. All right. So here we go. What? Well, you can try. Let's go. I'm ready for you.
I put the 2 parentheses, twice, and then I put x2 or x squared and x squared,
Okay.
and then I put +9 for the second one and +1 for the first.
Okay, so that's not bad, except it would give me plus 10, not minus 10.
Oh, no, never mind, I put -9 and -1.
That is good so far. Are we done? No. Everybody should know we're not done because why? X squared minus 1 can factor and x squared minus 9 can factor. So that factors to what?
X and x.
Come on, come on. These are the ones you should be able to just say x plus 1, x minus 1. All right. And then the other one would be,
X minus 3, x plus 3.
yeah, everybody should be able to do that. All right. When there's no middle term, the factors have to be the same, one positive and one negative. Quickly.
Why is, never mind.
Good. Good for you. All right. Anybody else? All right. We're doing pretty good here. Let's go. All right. 35. What do I have to factor out? Anybody else see factoring out an x here? All right. Let's factor out an x. I'm left with,
A squared plus 2 minus 7 squared.
perfect. Okay. And now,
5a, and then a, and then so it's.
now where should the 7 go, on the left or the right? And everybody, I'm trying to get you to mental picture. If I put it on the right, it will be multiplied by 5, right? So that's too big. So we're going to put 7b and b. And now what is the 7b going to be? Bless you. Positive, and the other one's going to be negative. Bless you. All right, here we go. Okay, now I need help on 37, please. That's just a 1 star. All right, so who can tell me immediately what the problem is? Go. Yeah, the x minus y and the y minus x are not the same. They're off by a factor of -1. So I need you to make yourself a note and say, I just need to factor out a -1. And when I factor out a -1, the y will become negative y and the negative x will become positive x, and then it will be the same. All right, so if I factor out a -1, watch, 3 parentheses x minus y, I factor it out, so that becomes a minus t. This becomes a -y plus x. Now, in the future, when you factor out a negative, we're not going to write the -y plus x. We're just going to change it. All right, but right now, we're going to write 3 parentheses x minus y minus t parentheses x minus y. All right, I showed you all the steps there, but in the future, this step right here doesn't have to be listed. This step doesn't have to be listed. You just automatically switch it to x minus y. Now, does everybody see we have something common, right? So my answer is just x minus y times what? Yes, 3 minus t. All right, so as I scroll down the page, easy, easy, really easy, easy. All right, 47. Now, 47, normally what happens is people try to switch this around, but don't try to switch it around. Just leave it like that. You're smart enough to handle this. All right, so put 2 sets of parentheses. Now, it should be kind of obvious. I'm trying to get 3 with the factors of 10. What are the factors of 10? 2 and 5. So let's throw down a 5, throw down a 2. Only factors of y squared are what? All right, so now here's where you have to pay attention. I want -3. So I want the 5 to be what? So where do I put the negative if I want the 5 to be negative? The one on the right, which is confusing for some kids. If I put the negative here, this becomes the -5y. Does everybody see that? All right, that's confusing for a lot of kids. All right, don't let that bother you. If you ever have trouble, you can always just do what? Check to see if you're right. 5 times 2 is 10. Y times -y is -y squared. 2y minus 5y equals -3y. I know I'm right. All right, everybody good with that? All right, 49, 51 is easy. 53, fancy one. All right, we have to factor out the what here? The -1. All right, so let's do 53 because it's kind of hard to see. Everybody, this is like a 3-star. All right. So factor out a -1. When I factor out a -1, everybody's supposed to write x squared, parentheses, a minus b, -1. And then we're going to rewrite it as a minus b. For those of you guys who were listening, understand that. Now what's common? A minus b. So we write a minus b and then what? Beautiful. Now x squared minus 1. There you go. So now this is what I'm saying. When you get something so easy, just go x plus 1, x minus 1, and we're on to the next problem. Is everybody agreeing with that? All right. So easy, easy, easy. Nothing to it. Simple, 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 simple. Really easy. All right, so your job for tonight is listen to me. Hey, all I'm asking you to do is do the left hand. All right, that's it. All you have to do is the left hand. All right, tomorrow, listen, tomorrow we will knock it out. All right, tomorrow we'll knock it out. All right.